Oliver Hardy, whose actual name was Norvell Hardy, was born in Georgia in 1892, while Arthur Stanley Jefferson, Stan Laurel's birth name, was born in 1890 in England. This awesome comedy duo grew to fame during the classical Hollywood era. Their partnership started in the early 1920s when silent films had dominated the film industry. Amidst the journey of their career in the film industry, they appeared in over 100 films, earned themselves millions of fans, and at the height of their career garnered an Academy Award. But behind all these success and fame, Laurel and Hardy's lives were faced with problems starting from failed marriages, health problems, to bad financial situations. Hardy's life was troublesome since birth, with the death of his father months after he was born, hence his mother had to support the family. Tragedy struck his family once again when his brother Sam tragically passed away when he was around 17 years of age. They had gone on a swimming spree at a dam close to their place when Sam broke his neck when he hit rocks at the bottom of the water due to a miscalculated dive. The death of his brother had a great impact on his life since he got very emotional when this subject was brought out while he was in an interview in the show This Is Your Life years later. Stan, on the other hand, had a relatively calm family life despite the fact that he was alone as a child. His parents had been performers and at the same time theater managers who frequently traveled. Hence, Stan had to spend much of his childhood with his grandparents, who were generally kind to him but very strict and often punished him when he misbehaved. When Laurel was just 18 years old, he was struck by misfortune when his mother died unexpectedly. It's suspected she suffered from a respiratory illness that was intensified by the air quality in Glasgow, where the family had moved to. Laurel had discovered his father was cheating on Madge, his mother, some years before, and hence blamed him for breaking his mother's will to live. These personal tragedies without doubt influenced the humor and tone of Laurel and Hardy's comedy, which usually addressed the challenges and setbacks in life. In terms of marriages, both Laurel and Hardy have been involved in several failed relationships. Laurel was married quite a number of times and had a rocky love life, including a long and strenuous relationship with his third wife, actress Vera Ivanova-Shuvalova. Laurel's fourth wife, Ida Kiteva-Rafael, caused a lot of stress and financial strain on him. Hardy, on the other hand, was only married twice, where his second marriage to Virginia Lucille Jones was a particularly difficult one. Hardy was used to overspending, and he often depended on loans from his wife and family members to manage his rather lavish lifestyle. This made their marriage rather difficult, and the couple eventually had to divorce in 1937. Oliver Hardy died surprisingly broke, and New Statesman stated that in 1946, Stan Laurel had to admit that he only had $2,000 in his bank account and $200 a month to live on. Oliver Hardy's weight posed a great challenge for him in his life. He had a hard time in maintaining a healthy weight and often gained and lost large amounts of weight over a short period, which is said to be harmful to the body. Hardy's weight also caused him many health problems, which included heart disease, high blood pressure, and diabetes. In 1954, he suffered a major heart attack that rendered him unable to work in the entertainment industry anymore. He had to retire from acting, and his health went on fluctuating over the following years. Despite his struggles with his weight and health, Hardy was still positive and continued to enjoy life as much as he could. He went on being a beloved figure among their fans, and his contributions to the world of comedy are still celebrated to date. For about 14 years, Laurel and Hardy had become one of the most famous comedy duos in Hollywood. They usually played an active role in shaping the films they worked on, writing, and including physical humor. The duo often improvised much of their bits and keenly strategized and even directed scenes while working with Hal Roach, who was a producer. But over time, Laurel and Hardy developed hard feelings towards Roach for his tough negotiating skills and hard-charging business style, and this caused tension between him and them and him. They felt that Roach didn't give them the respect they deserved and that he was taking advantage of their popularity for his own gain. One incident that contributed to a rift between Roach and the duo was the release of the film Zenobia in the year 1939. The film became a commercial failure that made Laurel and Hardy blame Roach for the poor scripting and low production values. They wanted Roach to pay them more for the work they had done, but he declined, leading to a heated argument and the demise of their partnership. After they parted ways with Roach, Laurel and Hardy proceeded to work with other studios, which included 20th Century Fox and Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer in 1941, but they never attained the same level of success as they had with Roach. Due to this rift, Laurel and Hardy made really low-quality films in the 1940s. The duo made only one film together after 1945, and by 1953, they were broke and had to walk away from the film business entirely. Stan Laurel and Oliver Hardy's comedy partnership was one of a kind in that they both had particular styles that complemented each other perfectly. Laurel was recognized for his comedic timing, his improv abilities, and the gift of physical humor, while Hardy was best known for his charismatic persona, powerful voice, and deft delivery of one-liners. Their chemistry on-screen was unequaled, and the way they made audiences laugh with their goofy acting and hilarious misunderstandings made audiences all over revere them. Their popularity was not only in the United States, but they had created a global fan base, particularly in the United Kingdom, where they were crowned as comic geniuses. Laurel and Hardy's films were carefully planned and rehearsed, with a lot of scenes being directed by the duo personally. They usually spent most of their time perfecting their performances, making sure every detail is on point to ensure maximum comedic impact. Their triumph in the 1930s was remarkable, as they were able to make hit after hit, which included Babes in Toyland and Blockheads. They also did a lot of touring and performed live shows in theaters and music halls countrywide. What most don't know to date, after the backlash in the 1940s, their celebrity took off internationally after World War II ended, and their films were finally widely distributed. This relighted the idea to relaunch their film careers with a French-Italian co-production that was later on called A Told K. The production was faced with setbacks that included language barriers and a terrible script. A Told K ended up being the final film Laurel and Hardy made together in their career. Regardless of their difficulties and their popularity diminishing later on in their career, they are still beloved figures in the history of comedy and film. When Oliver Hardy passed on in 1957, it was a heartbreaking loss for Stan Laurel. They had worked together for more than 3 decades and had grown incredibly close. Laurel was really impacted by Hardy's death to the point that he decided to retire from filming business instead of continuing to work without his friend and partner. While in an interview with Life magazine in 1961, Laurel spoke on the death of Hardy. "It was the worst blow that ever hit me. I felt as if it was the end of a great part of my life, and I didn't want to go on without him." Laurel decided to move into a small apartment in Santa Monica together with his wife, Ida. He spent the rest of his years as a lonely man who passed time writing letters, possibly countless of them, to his fans and friends. He also jotted down comedy routines meant for Laurel and Hardy, but they were never played or performed on screen. For Laurel, it seemed that without his friend and partner, his career in show business was over. He did this until he met his demise in the year 1950. To sum it all up, Stan Laurel and Oliver Hardy were a legendary comedy duo who brought joy and laughter to many worldwide. Their distinct blend of physical humor, witty dialogue, and heartwarming friendship created a timeless legacy that still amazes the audience to date. While Hardy's untimely death left devastated Laurel and seemingly robbed him of his passion for performing, his influence on the world of comedy will never be forgotten. Their legacy has been an inspiration to countless comedians, actors, and filmmakers over the years, and their enduring popularity has proven that laughter truly is the best medicine. Whether you're a lifelong fan or a new to their work, Laurel and Hardy's humor continues to bring joy now and generations to come. That's it for today, folks. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed learning about this iconic duo, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to this channel for more interesting content.